Welcome to the Husband's Coach's Corner, the podcast that teaches husbands how to love their wife every day and become better men in the process. I'm your host, Chris Scott, aka the Husband Coach. Welcome to part 4 of How Do I See My Wife series. As mentioned before, these are all recordings pulled from videos I posted on YouTube. So if you would like to watch the entire series, you can do so by going to my channel, which is The Husband Coach, or you can click the link in the description box below. In today's episode, we're going to be discussing the 5 love languages. They come from a book titled The 5 Love Languages, and I highly recommend you read or purchase the audiobook version of it, whatever. I will leave a link in the description if you want to check out that book. If you're not familiar with the 5 love languages, they are physical touch, words of affirmation, acts of service, quality time, and gifts. Learning your love language and your wife's love language will help take your marriage to the next level. To help you figure out yours and your wife's love language, I left a link in the description that will take you to a short quiz. In order for today's episode to be helpful, you will need to learn your wife's love language. So pass her the quiz and just say, I really need your help with this so I can love you better. Please take this quiz. If your wife does not want to take the quiz because that's just where you guys' marriage is right now, she doesn't trust you or want to be helpful towards it, one of the ways that you can ease her mind is you take the quiz and then you share the results with her. That'll absolutely help out a little bit. And at the minimum, your wife will learn your love languages. Today's step is important to planning out your date and resonate well with your wife. It'll show her that you love her and she will receive that love because you're speaking to her in her love language. Let's get into the episode. Question number 1. What is my wife's main love language? All right. It's extremely important that you know what your wife's main love language is, because the main one is the one you want to focus on the most. All right. So if you find that your wife has physical touch as her main love language, hey, hold her hand, rub her feet, rub her neck, just cuddle with her while you guys watch a TV show, or just put your arm on her lap or your hand on her lap while, you scroll through Instagram or something. I don't know. Whatever it is, give her some physical touch. And one of the best things, this is a bonus question, right? So once you learn what your wife's main love language is, say, hey, how can I fulfill that for you in a way that would just make you explode in happiness, right? Or in joy or excitement, because now she's going to feel like you really care. One of two things are going to happen in this process, right? Either your wife is going to be a little concerned that you're showing so much interest in her, or she's going to be really excited that your wife is showing, or that you're showing a lot of interest in your wife. But it's going to be a beneficial transformation for you, for her, for the marriage, and it's the work that's necessary to improve marriages or take your marriage to the next level. If you already have a great marriage, this is a really good drill to take your marriage to the next level. And it doesn't matter how long you've been married, you can do this day in, day out. And it's important because the whole purpose that I forgot to mention in the first couple videos is this drill builds consistency in thinking about your wife on a regular basis, and how you're going to fulfill her needs for the day, for the month, for the week, whatever it is. And when we start to think about our wife every single day, she realizes that we put her first, and that matters a lot. All right. It matters a lot because it is a way that we show her that we love her. All right. Question number 2. What is my wife's second love language? All right. The second love language is extremely important because right after you get done doing the first love language, that can start to get a little played out, right? And as husbands, we want to be a little spontaneous, but also a little predictable. We want our wives to feel consistency in the fact that we love her. We're going to do something for her. We're going to do something with her. So you find out what that second love language is, and that could be receiving gifts. Well, they don't have to be expensive gifts, right? In one of my previous videos, I talked about making a corny card. I did this. My wife, she loves cards. It's a simple gift. Even if I went to the store and bought a card, it would only be like $5-7 somewhere in there. But sometimes a gift could just be a little message, like a sticky note left on the mirror when she wakes up in the morning, that says, I love you. Or better yet, see, this is power tips. You write down your affirmation about her that you've been writing throughout the week. You put those on sticky notes, and just randomly throughout the week, you put it on the mirror or somewhere where she's going to find it, and make sure that the kids can't get to it, because if your kids are anything like my kids, they'll get to it, they'll read it, and they'll be like, ooh, mommy, did you see the note that daddy left you? And, it's fun. It's actually kind of funny for us, but this is an intimate opportunity for you to grow with your wife. Now, if you don't have kids, you don't have to worry about it. Put it wherever you want in the house, but you want to put it somewhere where she's going to find it first. That is a fantastic way of giving gifts. You don't have to spend a whole lot of money. Flowers, that's a classic. Chocolates, that's a classic. Something that she wants, that's a classic. You got it. All right. Not going to continue on with that. But the second love language is important, because you're showing that you are observing her and you want to meet her with the love and the needs that she needs fulfilled on a regular basis. And that's extremely important. All right. Question number 3. What does she do when you respond to her with her love language? It's a terrible way of wording that question. What does she do when I respond to her with her love language? All right. This is a good question of observing what your wife does when you meet her where she is. Now, if your wife responds negatively, then that could mean you have to start figuring out, all right, what's going on deeper in our relationship. Now, if she responds positively, which, that's kind of the goal of this. We want our wives to respond positively. But, not every wife is going to respond positive, because there could be some deeply rooted concerns in the marriage that you're going to need to work through, either with a third party, a counselor, or a friend, a family member, or individually. You're going to have to work through it and say, okay, hey, I see that these are your love languages, but you are not responding, positively. What's going on? How can we work through this? Because you want her to know you love her. And if she's not receiving it, then you have to figure out that that's a red flag that you need to say, okay, I'm seeing you the way that I believe is going to show you the most love, and I'm responding in that manner, but you're not responding to me as if you received love. So that's a good conversation to get into way deeper. But yeah, so those are your 3 questions. I'll leave it there. What I want to hear from you guys is in the comment section below, some of the love languages that your wife, is exhibiting, because, and more importantly, or I guess more creatively, the ways that you're responding to your wife's love languages, and the response that she's given you in return. Because my wife responds differently to words of affirmation than she will from quality time. My wife values quality time a lot. Doesn't matter what we're doing, as long as I am fully engaged with whatever the thing is that we're doing, she is feeling loved by me, and that's all. And look, guys, I'm about to give you a little secret. Quality time is not you sitting there on your phone. All right. Whenever I say, you know what, honey, we're about to do this thing together, we're going to spend quality time, I put my phone either on the counter in the kitchen, or it stays in my room, and we focus on whatever that thing is. So if it's watching a movie, hey, we're watching a movie. If it's us playing a board game, we're playing a board game. I don't have my cell phone. I don't have any outside distraction. All I have is the time that I'm spending with her, and that's where quality time comes in. Now, obviously, everyone's going to read into that a little bit differently. The 5 love languages, I'll have to do a video that breaks that down a little bit more. But moral of the story, be present in the moment, and don't let your wife feel like you're just there to check a block, because that's not the goal of any of this. Welcome back, listeners, and thank you again for listening. We still have one more episode in this series, and I hope you gain a little bit of value so far. If you have any questions, you can reach me at husbandcoach2020@gmail.com, or you can leave a comment on any one of the videos on YouTube. If you're finding value in this series or in this podcast in general, please write a review. It helps to get more exposure and gets this podcast to grow and get the message across the U.S. and the world. Until the next episode, find a way to love your wife every day.